Well, hello there. Siron here. Have you ever wondered what the world would be like without the kinky societal financial domination of big business? Have you ever considered that the world might be a better place if we didn't play out our whack-a-mole fantasies on baby seals? And have you ever looked out the window upon the thousands of people going about their daily lives and wished that you could all work together in peace and prosperity? Me neither, because I took the corpo life path in Cyberpunk 2077, where our philosophy is that if the world is going to hell, you might as well not have to smell it happening. It all starts with you having a job in one of the largest megacorps in the USA, Arasake, with a solid mid-level counterintelligence position and a boss who's only mildly sociopathic. It turns out there is a promotion up for grabs which my manager is quite eager to get his hands on, so he wants me to help things along a little by murdering his boss and taking her job. Now, as any mid-level manager will tell you, the only way to do your job is to dump it on someone else. We need a sucker, someone who will pull the trigger, someone who won't ask questions, someone to take all of the blame. But who? V is a terrible, terrible friend. Fortunately for Jackie, it doesn't go that well. Now I'm being fired without severance pay and a terrible reference. Oh, and half my internal organs are in the process of melting. Essentially what happened during last year's office Christmas party, but with decidedly less vodka. So here I am, back on the streets, having to start all over again with Jackie asking me if I still remember how to fire a gun. Unfortunately, I went through the English education system, so I didn't learn how to shoot by the age of 12. The only people who did insist on wearing funny hats, riding horses, and chasing the occasional otter. Yeah. Jackie hands me a training simulation, and I'm suddenly faced with an overly confident crash test dummy, who so far is the only character I've found entirely relatable, considering we're both plugged into a program that appears to still be in its alpha phase. Our first job is apparently to save a young woman who's been kidnapped by the Scavs gang, which despite the name isn't so much interested in the healing of skin, more the pulling off other people's and selling their bits to the highest bidder. Charming. As we sneak through the building, surrounded by the horror of recently dissected corpses, I can't help noticing how fantastic this apartment actually is. City centre location, extensive floor space, and presumably brilliant soundproofing. Honestly, this gang have secured a fantastic property. The price can only go up. We finally managed to find the room where the gang members are hanging out. Now, if we're going to find the girls safely, we're obviously going to have to keep a low profile, distract whenever possible, stay alert, and pick them off one by one. Subtlety isn't my strong suit. Me and Jackie finally managed to find the lady in the bathtub. And even though I saved her from the sexual advances of the man on top of her, she doesn't even say thank you. What an absolute ice queen. Hang on. Wait. Hang on. Now, I should point out that I am playing the game uncensored, but unfortunately YouTube still has some pretty strict rules about nudity. The question is, why would I play in this mode just to make more work for myself in censoring it back out again? There are two simple answers. Answer number one, as a wise man once said, without nipples, boobs end up a bit pointless. Answer two, because where some see censorship, I see free advertising. Oh yes, where was I? So, V decides the best thing to do is jack into her head to see what's wrong. I sincerely hope that's all he's jacking. We managed to rip the blocking chip out of her head so the medical rescue squad can finally come and rescue her. It seems that the Red Cross is finally taking more direct steps to provide those ever-important moral incentives. Now that the princess has finally been taken to another castle, I was just about to leave, until an advert in the distance caught my eye. Now my German is a little rusty, but it seems to translate to just chatting. Nice to see an honest advertisement for once. And with that, I can finally get off home for a good night's sleep, but not before properly thanking our host. Home sweet home. All a 2077 bachelor could possibly need. You have your toilet with complimentary shame curtain, your walk-in shower, which will inevitably spill water all the way down to the toilet. However, when you're living lost in the depths of a megastructure, buried in poverty and surrounded by crime, Damp socks are the least of your problems. You do surprisingly come equipped with a double bed, forever living in the perpetual optimism that one day you can lure some unfortunate up 48 flights of stairs just to spend the night with your poor-looking ass. In other words, the university lifestyle. You also own a computer, which I can't understand the purpose of, considering it only receives emails, and I have something far more powerful literally embedded into my skull, and as all true patriotic Americans should have in their homes, the weapons room. A literal armory for you to store all the proceeds of your questionable lifestyle choice. I'm not gonna lie, now my socks aren't the only thing that's wet. With the grand tour over, I'm heading out to go meet with Jackie downstairs, only to find out that the burrito machine is completely broken down, and with a small note stuck on the side. Now, I don't know what this big man's name is, but both of us are agreed in one thing. We are not happy.
Well, good morning to you!
His voice is terrible. I find Jackie downstairs, grabbing a bite to eat at the Chinese food stall. Apparently, even in a future where all the household pets of Night City have mysteriously vanished, he's still more trusting of what they call chicken than I am. He mentions the opportunity to get a job with one of the best fixers in the city, a Mr. Dexter DeShawn, who is waiting nearby to check out the goods. Not thinking about this any further, I decide to hop into the car, as, despite how fashionable and chic cockroaches apparently are, I think we can all agree, I really need the money. Upon closer inspection, Dexter actually seems like quite a nice guy. He tells me how pretty I am, and asks if I'd like to make my big break into cinema. I'm not quite sure what a sugar daddy is, but apparently now, I've got one. He also asked me to take care of some business getting inside a woman's head. I think I stopped listening at this point, because the next thing I know, I'm being dropped off at the nearest curb and being sent straight to the local strip club. With a sneaking suspicion that I've just been pimped out, I head inside the club to be greeted by the least enthusiastic receptionist I have ever met. Her eyes are glazed over, and her face is a mask of regret. Then again, she is working front of shop during the festive season, which means she's been listening to the same Christmas songs on repeat for the past 3 months. Make sure to press like on the video to remember our fallen comrades in the retail sector. You will all never be forgotten. After a quick flirtation with the barman, Evelyn introduces herself and drags us off to a quiet corner of the club so we can talk business. I don't remember a single thing she said, but I do remember being quite positively distracted. It must have gone well, however, as the next thing I know I'm being led down the stairs with the promise of seeing things I've never seen before. I'm feeling a bit warmed up after the complimentary holographic lap dance, and that's when I'm introduced to Judy. Judy asks me if I've ever done it raw before, and V is yet to lose his V card. She straps me down into a surgical chair, leaning seductively, and tells me to brace myself. My body has never been more ready.
Into editing mode. Be diving in and